place to start.
What is going on, everybody? Again with another episode of I Overcome. I told you, and my word is bond, I will have different people, iconic people in the city of Hamilton and other regions, other cities, to come on this show and encourage you. Courtney Hill, people. Courtney Hill. She's a bit nervous. She doesn't know what to expect on the I Overcome, but man, I trust and I know that she's going to be excellent and do a great job and encourage so many youth out there, because I've been following her on, I feel like your Instagram stalker.
Do you?
I don't know
It's been a few years.
It's been a few years. And I was saying to one of my friends, I said, I was thinking about my friend, and I was like, oh, he came up to mine. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go watch his Instagram story again. Instead of just like texting him and calling me like, yo, bro, just thinking about you, I'm going to watch your Instagram story again.
Yeah.
And then I just, because I really don't have shame. So I told him, I'm like, yeah, I did that. And he's like, oh, okay. Because he ended up calling me and he's like, I was just thinking about you. And I was like, shame. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have done that. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've been talking to you, but I just been watching your Instagram stories. So yeah.
So you know what's kind of been going on.
I know
without
it's been
really
going,
knowing.
Yeah, for real. You got like blogs and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if I could. I gotta overcome certain things. I haven't overcome everything, but I have to overcome certain things, and writing is one, just because I've been beat down on the writing type of stuff. I know I'm not a good writer, but you know. But yeah, I mean, you're holding it down. Like, you're really using that platform to really lift people up. And I've been seeing you just, damn, Courtney.
Thank you. But, you know, to be honest, though, like, before I really started to show my face and put my face on video on there, you've been doing it since as long as I've known you.
Yeah, on and off.
So
but
really,
you're more consistent than me.
Yeah. Like, I've become pretty consistent.
You hone that thing. Like, sometimes, like, okay, let's take a break.
Yeah.
And let's come back to Courtney's. Yeah, that's so. Who are you, Courtney?
Who am I?
Who are you? Isn't that the biggest question of life?
Yeah. It's like,
sorry.
There's a bunch of different ways I could take this.
I'm so sorry.
And it has changed over time.
Yeah, take it whichever way you want to. We're gonna go into any direction anyways, so drink.
So yeah, my name is Courtney Hill.
Yes.
I'm 25 years old, born and raised in Hamilton.
H-Town.
Lived in Alberta a bit, but
okay.
Majority Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as Mike said, I'm an online entrepreneur. I am behind the Instagram Conquer with Court. And my mission and what I do is I help women who struggle with eating, so disordered relationship with food and their body, and exercise, and I help them get to a place where they are, I can't stand the word balanced because I feel like it's so overused, but really that place where you're at a, you feel healthy, you feel strong, you feel amazing, but it's not overly consuming your life. And so I take women.
Moderation.
Yeah.
That's the word. Like,
so in moderation, I'm really trying to figure out the perfect term for it, but for now it's like balance, moderation, healthy without the obsession.
Okay, but what is obsession like?
So really, when it's your pursuit to be healthy or to look healthy and live this lifestyle, but doing it in a way where it's taking over every other area of your life.
Okay.
So that's how I would really define when I say obsession. It's just really taken over, your mental health, your social life, your relationships, your emotional well-being, all to look a certain way or to, go after that healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, because I mean, it does obsession. Because obsession is such a broad word.
Yeah.
And we use it so loosely. Like, oh, I'm obsessed with this water. You know? Yeah.
Maybe consumed by. Like if you're consumed by the need to eat a certain way in order to look a certain way or to live this healthy lifestyle.
So like with the obsession, do you also work on the willpower as well? Because I feel that willpower is so needed, especially in today's world. Like there's so much stuff that could just that triggers that thing in your brain that's like, no, just get more. You know?
Willpower in like describe a bit more about what you mean.
Like willpower is like, okay, so I just got a new Xbox.
Right.
Xbox One, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm playing online, these people at Madden, and I got work to do, and I'm just like, no, like one more game. And then after, like, it was like a sick game or I lost, and I'm like, no, one more game after that, I gotta end on a good note.
Right.
Like, you know, and then I'm just like, yo, that was a sick game, I'm dope, one more. And then I just don't have the willpower just to stop. It's just that mental strength to be like, no, enough is enough. When is when? When are you saying when? When are you going to draw the line?
So how do I work with women in terms of
and do you focus on that, or what are the strategies?
So really it's I think getting to a place where you feel like there's no other way to turn. So you know, I more so help the women who have gotten to that point where they're like, Courtney, I honestly cannot live another day like this. I cannot live consumed by how many calories I eat today, or if I can work out, or you know, if my abs are showing today or not. And so getting to that place where there's no other option but to heal and to pull back a bit and to really get their life back. So at that point, I don't think I would call it willpower. I think it would be coming home to like themselves and their body, and really reevaluating what they're trying to achieve. Because
good.
Yeah, because if you get to that point where, you know, your pursuit to be healthy or to be what you think is healthy is taking over every other area of your life, then how healthy is it really? So I work through all of that with them, and we figure out, you know, what is it you really want, right? Do you want to just live a life where you're focused on what you're eating and the way you're working out and the way your body looks? Or do you want to travel and be able to have kids and enjoy your time with your family?
That's really good. Now I know because I train people on the side. Now how do you decide or really draw to those who, and I say this because I don't have another term, but the ones that are really serious and they're like, no, it's done now, I need help. And the ones that are like almost in limbo, that they're like, I want to, but I don't. They're in the contemplation stage, and the other people are in like I need activation now.
Yeah, that's actually, I love that you brought that up, because I thought about this a few weeks ago. I had been talking to some women who were potential clients, well, future clients, and some of which, you know, were at that limbo, and it's like they were going to invest in getting support, but then also, you know, had thoughts of, okay, maybe I can continue on my own and figure this out on my own. And then there's other women who are, like you said, at that point where it's like, I can't live this way anymore, and I'm done. So I think it's really the individual deciding. I mean, I can provide the content through my social media and share my story and share everything that I know and that I work through with my clients. But I think it's a decision that has to be made within to get that support and actually want to change.
So are you pushing them to change, or I wouldn't say pushing, but motivating them, like a one-on-one, or is that just going on through the social media and you're like, okay, I'm going to let my social media do the motivation and the inspiration type of work, and then if they're really, really serious and they want change now, then that's when the people will come to me. I know it's because like
yeah, but that's pretty much it, right? So I do motivate and empower women through my social media, but then if they want to take that next step to getting the one-on-one support, then they choose to do so for themselves once they reach that point.
So we've discussed your clients, getting them to that point and getting them to that understanding and understanding of themselves, really. Now we're going there.
I knew it. Okay, go.
We're
Go
going
first.
there,
Go.
Listen, it's I overcome, Court.
Yeah.
Come on now. Are you sure you don't want a nervous drink of water? Because we're going there.
If it's about my story and the things that I've been through and I've overcome, don't worry, I share my story all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm good. All
right. She's still nervous. She's acting like she's not nervous, but she's still nervous. So yeah, let's hear your story and how you came to this place of overcoming and saying, okay, I overcame. Now, is it just me that's gonna do this, or am I gonna have an army behind me? So yeah, tell us about.
And that's really the idea behind Conquer with Court, right? Conquer with Court.
Yeah.
So you want to know?
It's a good name. It's a good name, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty much came from a place of, like I described to you, with where my clients have sort of been. So, do you want me to just like explain
wherever
what
you
happened?
feel led?
Yeah,
wherever you feel led.
Okay. So I'll just take it back to when I really began on, I guess, my first exposure to fitness and wanting to lose weight and change the way I ate. So in university, I went to school for nursing. And so
shout out to nurses.
Yeah, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I went to school for nursing. Halfway through university, I went through a very devastating breakup. I thought my whole world was over. Somebody I was dating from high school. So it was like my high school sweetheart. And so I thought it was like the end of the world. And I felt very out of control. And so looking back, I reached out to gain control again, and that was through fitness. And so I set out on these goals to lose weight, and started to change my eating habits, joined a gym, and it got very, like I mentioned before, very consumed by all of that. And so it was like the one thing I had control over, I guess, was changing my body. And so I used that as an escape, I think, from what was going on. And I began to share my fitness journey online. It was Courtney Hill Fit at the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. It was like a whole clan of you just doing the,
Yeah. So I shared my journey, and, I was praised for my transformation, my fitness transformation. Like, oh my gosh, you're so dedicated to the gym. How do you eat so healthy? How do you do this? How do you do that? And so that just fueled my fire. Like that just like kept me going. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to, now that that's my identity, now that I'm like Courtney, the fitness girl, like I have to keep this up. So I kept going, and it just like spiraled, got worse and worse and worse. Well, not worse, but like I guess, more intense.
Yeah.
To a point where it was like I was completely isolated. All I cared about was going to the gym and, you know, eating chicken breast and egg whites and like...
Chicken breast is good.
yeah, okay.
It's good.
Okay, chicken breast, egg whites, and like maybe a rice cake if I wanted to treat myself. You know, like very restrictive.
Wait, hold up. Like rice cake plain or rice cake caramel?
Plain. With peanut butter maybe.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, like plain.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, would it really make a difference if it was a plain or a caramel one?
Yeah, it does, because plain just don't taste good at all.
Yeah, true.
You know, but the caramel is just like, oh, I could have
They're okay, yeah.
You know,
So, yeah, very restrictive.
Yeah.
And it was all to keep this body that I guess identified with, or this lifestyle that I identified with. And so, yeah, I lost a lot of friends through that because I didn't want to go out anymore. I didn't want to, I told my friends and myself that I didn't have interest in anything anymore, like outside of the gym. And it was almost like nobody understood me, you know, like it was like, why don't people understand that I just want to be healthy? Yeah. And so those are the kinds of thoughts that I had. Man. Like that's all I wanted, right? And then so that continued for a while until, you know, my body just couldn't handle it anymore.
Wow.
And you know, I was in starvation mode for majority of my days, like just completely restricted and over exercising like crazy.
Yeah.
Aftershock, I would go and I would bike there, half an hour bike there. Do 2 classes.
Yeah, you put me through
home.
some stuff. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, you remember.
You said, come on, Mike, do 2 classes. I said, all right, Court, I'll do 2 classes. I did the boot camp.
And I think you did.
I did. Yeah. I did the boot camp and I did the bike.
Yep.
The cycling class. I said, and then I heard you were going home on a bike. I said, this girl's got some nerve.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, along with all of that came a lot of anxiety, guilt, and shame if I couldn't do those things. Like if I couldn't stick to my meal plan. Yeah. If I couldn't go to the gym and do that many classes, like my days were ruined if I couldn't. And so it was just very consuming, overly consuming. And then like I mentioned before, how healthy is that really? Right?
Absolutely.
No social life whatsoever.
Yeah.
Emotionally unstable. Mentally unwell. So it was just like, and when I was in the midst of it all, of course I didn't see it. I saw it as healthy. I saw it as I was being praised for it, and people were like, oh my gosh, you're so dedicated, you're so motivated. And it was so easy to mask and just, you know, continue on as if it was good for me. So eventually it got to a point where I ended up in a spiral of binge eating. So I ended up experiencing binge eating for a few years, on and off for a few years. And it was just like, you know, people talk about binge eating very loosely too. Yeah. But this was very, you know, intense episodes of eating where I would eat, you know, 10,000 calories in a few hours.
Okay, so
like,
what is 10? I just eat.
Yeah.
So I don't know what 10,000 calories is.
Do you want a typical binge? A typical what it would
be? Okay. Hit us with it.
So what would happen would be I would restrict all week, like I said, chicken breast, all those chicken breast, vegetables, egg whites, and then come the weekend, it was like, okay, like you can have a cheat meal or you can have a one meal, and then it would just be like I would be eating in secret all of these things. So like, let's say an entire box of cookies, 5 fudgesicles, a jar of peanut butter, a loaf of bread, like intense episodes
of loaf of bread.
Yeah, like a whole loaf, like intense episodes of binge eating where I physically could not stop myself from eating. Wow. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. I did not understand. And my worst fear at the time was anyone finding out. Right? So it was like this thing that was happening on the side of my fitness life, and no one really knew for the longest time. And now looking back, I know that that was happening because of the extreme restriction. Like, of course my body needs something. My body is smart.
Yeah.
And it's going to get something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how that happened. And like, even at home, everyone thought I was like this fitness person who ate clean 24/7. And so that in itself was weighing on my shoulders, that I had this secret. And I was doing that in private.
Because you're held up to that standard, like,
yeah,
Courtney Hill fit.
Exactly. You know? And so that was my identity. Like, that was who I was. So it was like, why can't I control myself and not eat all these things? Why can't I feel like a normal person around food?
Yeah.
And so that led me into a very, very, very dark place. Where I felt like there was just no way out. I was completely isolated, even more than when I was just restricting, because now I had this secret that I was trying to hide.
Yeah.
And it was like, after those episodes of eating, of course, then I would spend the next whole day exercising. Called in sick to work all the time because I had to exercise. And it was just a very, very dark and lonely place.
Yeah.
And so, like it got to a point where I, didn't see a way out, and questioned if I could even go on.
Oh, that's
yeah.
We're gonna pause and we're gonna come back. That's wow.
I feel like I threw a lot at you.
No, it's not a lot. It's just funny how similar our stories are. And that's the part that hit me. It's just like, see, I've known her for how long? 6?
I don't know.
No, I'm not.
Well,
that
I was in
old.
nursing school.
I'm not that old.
I was in nursing school.
Oh my
Remember,
gosh,
I met
it's
you
been
at
like
the
6 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was in high school, right? No, I just finished high school.
Yeah.
So it's been about like 4 or 5 years. So I was actually just coming out of my season of overcoming. And you were in the midst of your season. So it's just like, I could like understand everything now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't even. Do you even know you know some of my story because you've seen me speak.
Yeah, but not.
But yeah, like, so I went through a period of time where I was suicidal, right? Highly anxious, had high anxiety, very high depression, and you know me, I'm like a great actor. Like, you're like, this guy, like, I want to be as happy as this guy.
Seriously.
Right?
Yeah,
so I was really good at that. Now, it's just, it's funny because now it's such a pure happiness now. It's just like, yeah, so it's like, it's such a pure happiness, but back then it was like, I would say faking it.
Yeah.
And covering up. So, and it's not that you threw a lot at me, it's just like, we were that similar. Like our lives lined up in that direction.
And it's crazy because we mask it so well, like, and I would have never known that you had ever been through stuff like that. And I'm sure the same. Like, do you remember at all?
Remember?
Because I used to see you during those times.
Yeah.
But do you remember, like?
Remember you going through it?
Would you ever been able to?
No. But there was something. There was something that I just couldn't figure out. It was almost, and I think you knew that I knew.
Yeah.
And what I found was it was almost like a wall. Where it's just like like we're friends, but I can't get past this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I felt. It was just like, and that's what I was also, you know, me and Rod always talked, and I was just like, man, Rod, like, I feel like there's such a restriction. Like, as friends, she'll only let me in this part.
Yeah.
But I can't fully understand who she is. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It was, and it's crazy because it's not just us two in the world. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
People nowadays are so self-centered that they think, okay, I've overcame this and I'm good. But they're not thinking like, yo, if me, why not them? And if them, why not others? Why am I the only one sharing the victory, having the party of one? You know, me having this podcast, I overcome.
Yeah.
You conquer with Court. That's like, listen, the victory is ours.
Yeah.
It's not mine. The victory is ours.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
it's just,
like, I always say that I want to be that person that I needed.
oh my gosh.
And so that
yes,
is like
absolutely.
what I go by. I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay, I want to be that support that I needed when I went through that.
So we're gonna go deeper, if that's okay.
Sure.
She said, "Oh Lord, get me off of this thing." Take us into that place where, what were you looking for? Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. Whoever sees this, and I don't have a big following, but I have the right following. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have the right, I don't care about numbers, but I care about the right people that are following me.
Yeah.
So take us to that place where you say, this is what I need. I need someone to help me out of this. And what were you looking for? What type of person were you looking for? Were you looking for a guy at that point? Were you looking for a life coach? Were you looking for God? What was it that you were looking for? You're like, frig, here am I with this little meal, and then here I am binge eating. Like, this is not my life. What am I looking for? Am I looking for the man? Am I looking for, I don't know, money, God? What was that thing that you're looking for just to pull you out? So,
like, what did I look for to get support?
Yeah, like, because it was almost like speaking from my perspective, it's almost like a silent cry for help. So what was the silent cry towards? Was it a guy that you wanted? Or was it God? Or was it a life coach? What was that thing that you were crying out for?
That's a tough question.
It is.
I don't know.
It is.
Because I don't know, like, a part of me didn't think I needed help at the time. And so that's why, because I was so isolated, I was spinning around in my head, you know, okay, like, you'll be fine, you'll get through this. People are gonna think you're crazy if you tell anyone. So it was like, I don't really know who I guess I was reaching out for or would have reached out for. But I mean, I had a therapist at the time.
Okay.
Through my job at the time. And that helped me through. But yeah, that's a tough question.
It is.
Yeah.
You're gonna answer it by yourself, because you're gonna be like, and it's so funny, like, we often get taken back to that place. Because once we go back to the place is when your healing starts. You know what I mean? And I avoided going back and going back and going back. That's why I was just like, the writing thing just kills me all the time, because I'll tell you what happened with the writing. So I was at McMaster, and long story short, because I love telling stories, but long story short, but I ended up failing this paper, and I needed to play football. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, give me the mark. At least give me a pass. He failed me, and I had to go to his office to say, like, can I rewrite this? I need to play football. Like, you're playing with my life right now.
Yeah.
And he said, and I was like, why this grade? And he told me that, honestly, this is you're at a grade 10 level writing. You're in university. What do you think that's gonna do to you?
Yeah.
You're like, why am I belonging here? Like, everything in university includes a paper.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention that I wrote the paper, I sent it off to someone that writes books. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like,
yeah,
you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, it's going back to that place so I could receive my actual healing. Because I know that I'm going to speak to someone else and they're going to experience that same thing. So if I can't coach from a place of already being healed, I'm gonna coach from a place of brokenness. You know? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the question was, but yeah.
So you said sort of what I was reaching for.
Oh yes, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And it's crazy because when I think back to those days where I like I said, I could not go on. Like I was suicidal. I did not know where to turn or what to do. So I really don't know what I was reaching out for. And it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly what that, like, there wasn't a moment where it was there wasn't one. And it was
exactly,
it's like there was not a point where I was like, I'm done, this is it, I need to heal and get help. Like, it was
more of a process.
Maybe I'm blocking out that moment. I don't know, but like, yeah, a process.
Because, and I don't know, like, so we'll come back. We might come back to that. Okay. Or we'll do a deleted scenes.
Okay. Sure.
Right? But wow, this I don't know why. I actually know why. I know why I love talking about mental health and overcoming suicide and depression and all that, because I went through it. So that's why I love talking about it. I didn't know you went through that in depth like that. Right? I just knew it was at surface level, which is just, it's amazing. It's amazing. A lot of people would be like, oh no, it a time that sucked. But no, it's actually amazing because you're here and you're helping other people out. So yeah, it's an amazing thing.
And the healing is a process too, because like, I'm still mending some of the relationships. Like,
we're not Wolverine.
With my brothers.
Wow.
In particular. Yeah. My parents, my friends. Like, I'm mending all of those relationships, and then also like the physical issue, like digestive issues I have now, hormonal imbalances I have. So it's all still very much a process of healing.
Yeah. So in that time, when you were experiencing what you've experienced in your life, what were you consuming? Your mind, your ears, and your eyes. What things were you consuming?
Yeah, everything to do with fitness. Bodies that I wanted. My goal body was, the background on my phone.
Wow.
Social media was just flooded with fitness accounts, clean eating recipe accounts, bikini competition.
Did you ever enter into that?
No, but it's funny you asked that, because those are the kinds of diets that I would search, and that's the kind of meal plan I would live by, but there was no competition. So when I was really restrictive, that was the goal, to look like that, but there was never competition date. And so yeah, what I was consuming was like, yeah, my social media was flooded. The friends, like the conversations I would have were all about bodies and eating healthy. And yeah, so you can see the patterns and how that became so.
Wow. So it's so funny too, because you have a blessing and a curse, because the social media was a curse for you at that point.
Yeah.
And you turned it into a blessing.
Yeah.
So social media is good, but it's also bad, because there's stuff that, and it's all come back to moderation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's
everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I work with, like my clients. From the start, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at your Instagram, anything that you're comparing yourself to, whether it be a body, a workout schedule, or the weight that somebody can lift, like whatever you're comparing yourself to on somebody else's account, it's got to go for now while you heal.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more you're consuming that every single day,
it transforms you.
Yeah. So moderation. And I think it's different for everyone too. Like something that's triggering for me and that causes me to compare myself would be so different from you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Even if we struggled with the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We could do like a whole thing on social media, but it's because I study social media, and I study the people that consume it, the youth actually that consume it. I don't really do young adults all that much, but definitely the youth that consume it, I can see how they turn out.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't get into that.
But it's so true. It can be used like to help so many people. Yeah. You and I both know that. And then also to just completely destroy yourself. Like it's Yeah.
That's great. I want to say first and foremost that when I see Courtney's Instagram, Conquer with Court, all right? If you don't, how do you spell it?
CONQUERWITH.
Oh, I was like, that's
Court.
how you spell Court.
COURT.
I was like, wait, that's how you spell Court? WITH. I was like, oh, with, yeah. Just because some people don't know how to spell conquer at times. But your Instagram page, it inspires me to keep going. It does, because I'm like, frick, she's posting so much, and it's content. It's like, it's not foolishness. It's just like content. And I'm constantly battling this thing, because you know how private I am. Yeah. Right? So I'm like, and it's not private in the fact like I'm hiding something, or private in the fact that I just don't like people. No,
you're selective of what you share.
One, I'm selective of what I share. Two, it's just like I have to have my life. Yeah. I have to have my life. I got my life to be my life. So that's one thing I'm battling with social media, is that I want to put out so much, but then I'm like, okay, but this is my life though. So I have to protect my life. Like, other people can't have my life. Does that make sense? So when I see her Instagram page, it's like, okay, Mike, you can do what you're doing. Just keep going. And when I see yours, I just like, okay, like I could definitely keep going with what I'm doing, and keep inspiring other people, because I gotta remember, it's not for me. Like my Instagram page, honestly, is not for me. Like,
that's the thing.
If you see my Instagram page, it's just like, where's Mike? Where's his wife? Like, I think I posted my wife once. Yeah. And I think I post me like, like very rare. So it's just.
Yeah. And I remind myself of that sometimes too. If I ever get that fear of other people's judgments. Yes. Or like other people criticizing what I'm posting. Yeah. I remind myself that, okay, this is not for me. I'm sharing this for that woman out there who's struggling.
So do you just do women, or is it man as well?
So far, I've only worked with women.
Okay.
I'm open to working with men.
Okay.
My content is majority geared towards women. Yeah.
Geared towards women.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I asked, because you're a woman, you good looking, and I don't want men to DM you, start. You know, men are just relentless these days, you know, so, and women too. Don't get that twisted. Women are still relentless these days. Don't act like you women are safe out here. But yeah. Closing remarks. I always ask all my all the people that I got on this podcast, video cast, if there was like a desert and there was holes in the ground. I'm really painting the picture for you.
Okay.
Yeah, if there was holes in the ground and there is a youth, a little girl, or a little boy, let's say 12 to 15, stuck in that hole. Now, the hole represents what they're in right now. They represent themselves, but there's no ladder, there's no shovel, there's nothing to get out of that hole. If you could say one thing to get them out of where they are stuck right now, what is that one thing you would say to them, just to inspire them and just to let them know that, like, listen, it seems like it's just a hole, but you just jump out of it or climb up and you're out of it. Doesn't have to be a sentence. It's just something that you would say to that one person, just like, you're good, don't worry about it. Almost picture like a little Courtney in that hole.
Okay, and is she struggling with?
She's struggling.
With what I was describing?
She's struggling with what you're describing. She's struggling with life. She don't know. She's in the hole.
And she can't tell anyone.
There's no one around her.
Okay.
She's in a desert.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say to tell someone to get support, because that was one of the things that I needed. But if she's alone and there's no one else.
You are the support.
Huh?
So I'm saying you are the support.
Oh, I'm the support.
So you're the only one there.
I'm already.
Yeah, you're up looking down at that hole. You're like, little Courtney, what's up? We gotta.
I would just tell her that, that it's so possible to come out of that place and to keep going and persevere. Actually, my tattoo.
All right.
That I've got here, that I got during those tough times. So yeah, just to persevere, keep going, and just I would show her that it's so possible to get out of that place, and just remind her that regardless of how alone she feels and how impossible at the time it does feel to heal and recover, that there is a light and you can get through it.
There you have it, people. Conquer with Courtney Hill. What is your blog? How do we get to your blog?
So my blog, actually, I have not been as consistent as I once was with that, so I haven't been using it. But that's just conquerwithcourt.com.
Conquerwithcourt.com if you want to read previous blogs.
But my main content, Instagram.
Conquer with Court. Yeah, definitely. So on this show, we pray for what we talk about. So we're just gonna go into prayer.
All right.
That's cool with you.
Yeah.
So God, we thank you for allowing Court to take time out of her schedule to be here, to inspire, to motivate, and to just be so transparent and share her story, that others may be inspired and motivated to do the same thing that she has done, which is seek for help, and find something deep within themselves to say it's okay. we could get out of this. We could keep moving forward. This is not the only thing to life. Father, we thank you that she has a heart for the women in this world, and she has a heart for motivating and inspiring people to come out of the darkness that they think they're in right now. Father God, we just ask that there's an increase of women that come to her. There's an increase of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the issues that women are coming to her with, and just the knowledge of knowing women, and knowing more of her past, oh Father God, that she could inspire more people. I just ask that you bless her family, you bless the loved ones and the friends around her, and whoever is watching this right now, we thank you that you're just even ministering to them right now, that as we're both speaking upon this subject, oh Father God, that they're healing right now as they're listening to us speak about this very thing. We thank you for allowing us to have this platform, both on Instagram, YouTube, and all social media platforms. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So this is I Overcome, back with another episode with the beautiful Courtney Hill. Conquer with Court. Hit her up on Instagram. You could hit me up on my Instagram as well, Michael Brown 24, and the YouTube Help Others TV, and search for I Overcome, because there's many more episodes to come. Much love. God bless.
Believe in yourself, and that's the place to start. And I